started. Welcome, everyone, to the Women's Podcaster Party. I'm so happy to have you here. Officially, our second of 2026. We had our first yesterday, and today we're going to have some time for networking. We're also going to have our featured speaker. We're going to be talking all things YouTube. So, we're going to start by going around the Zoom room. Everybody's going to get a minute to say who you are, what you do you have a podcast? And you are welcome to share the links in the chat. And when you share it, please also share your YouTube channel if you already have one, since that is the topic of the day. And get your questions ready because after Tamara and I do our interview style speaker, we're going to let it open it up for everybody to ask all the questions that you want to. All right. So I will go first, and then I'm just going to go around the Zoom room for everybody to do a quick introduction. I am recording this. You will get the link after, and I also posted on my YouTube public. So just so you know, it will be in those places, including your introductions. Hi, everyone. I think I know everyone in the room, but just in case, I'm Julie Marty-Pearson. I am the creator and host of this networking community. I created it a little over a year and a half ago because I saw a need in podcasting for there to be more spaces for women. Because women, we podcast differently than men. We podcast about things specific to women, and there's no way for us to say, check this box, this is a podcast for women. So we created this space to connect, to network, to learn, to create collaborations, and also to just have a safe space to talk and to ask questions we may not feel comfortable in other communities. I currently have 3 podcasts because I am insane, but as I think we all know, once you're in podcasting, it's like the next thing, the next thing. I have probably 5 other ideas in my head, but my podcasts are focused on sharing women's stories, women's voices. I have one dedicated to just podcasting and how to do it and do it better. And then I also have my passion project, which I always says explains behind me, which is the story of my pet. And that is my advocacy platform for educating around animal rescue, fostering, and adoption. So I'm very excited to have you all here. I'm just going to go around the Zoom room and let you all do a quick introduction also. And again, feel free to put your links in the chat. Our speaker can go next. Would you like to do a short intro? And you'll get more time when we get into the speaking. But for
Yeah,
now, so
sure.
everybody gets to know you.
I am Tamira Hamilton from Wisconsin or Wisconsin, as some people say. I am a digital marketing strategist with over 30 years, 3 decades of sales marketing and leadership experience. I'm currently onboarding clients who are looking to simplify their strategy, monetize their message, and create consistent income without the burnout. And I do not currently have a podcast. I'm looking at a VIP private exclusive podcast. And in the meantime, I have a YouTube, which I will drop in the comments, that is full of content, which is actually going to be the foundation of my podcast, if I have my way, is to repurpose that existing content into a podcast. I am frequently a guest speaker and a podcast guest. So here we are.
Love it. Thank you, Tamira. And I think that's important to say. This community, you don't have to be a podcaster to be here and to network. It's for everyone, whether you have a podcast, you are a guest, or you haven't done anything yet, you're just learning. And of course, now podcasting means a lot of different things. Some people have podcasts only on YouTube, some of us have only audio, some of us do all of it. So it's very open here for anyone to come and connect. And I'm very exciting for us to talk YouTube today because I've already learned stuff from you about from your checklist and all of that we'll share. Okay, next up in my Zoom room, I have Amy Stone.
Hello. My show is called The Art of Imperfect Adulting, where I share stories of adults, almost all women, and the choices and decisions we make in our life that affect the path of our adulthood. And what else am I supposed to share? And is that it? Is that everything?
Yeah, or anything else you want
Okay.
to share, what kind of guests you're looking for, anything like that you want to put out there.
I have a very broad roster of guests because my topic is so neutral. And so a lot of people have a lot of different stories they like to share on my show, to tell you the truth. And I like it that way because one of the things that I hope to do is to cross over, content channels, to not be industry specific and not be age group specific. So that's one of my goals with the show. I release simultaneously on audio and video. And I just want to give you props, Julie, because when you said more spaces for women to come together and talk about it, that like totally charmed my little heart. I think I say a version of those same said words sometimes. So I'll put the details about my show in the show notes. Can I put the link where people can pitch themselves to be a guest? Is that allowed?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I will do that.
I have been a guest and I enjoyed it, and Amy does some things different, like certain ways that she connects with her listeners, and so it's a really great podcast to listen to but also be a guest on.
Thank you.
Okay, next up in Zoom I have Elaine.
Hi, I'm so happy I made it. Hi, everybody. If I don't know you yet, Elaine Williams, my company is Captivate the Crowd. I help women show up powerfully on camera, on stages, as a guest, really in any capacity. And I'm a comedian, so I always encourage fun and laughter because it helps people lean in. If you're having fun, your audience will have more fun, and people are going to remember things that you say. It's better if you made them laugh, or at least you can make yourself laugh. My podcast is Captivate the Mic, and I thought I would only be interviewing women, but I've had a few cool men on there too. But I wanted to share uplifting stories and also give a little tip or two about how to be even better as a storyteller, speaker, whatever. And sometimes I do it live, and sometimes I do it in the show notes. And I'm always looking for more guests. And yeah, excited to be here. I have a YouTube channel. I've had it for years, and I can't wait to learn from you, Tamira, because I've had so many people say, you need to do SEO, you need to do blah, blah, blah. And I have spent a lot of money, and I have not gotten the results that I've wanted. And I probably didn't even know the right questions to ask these people. So anyway, yay.
Yay. Love that. And that's something I have been looking at. I just finished my first round of a group program for launching podcasts, and one of the things they wanted was YouTube. And I'm like, guys, there's so much. So I like basics, but I think we're gonna really dive into like the most important things and ways you can do some easy quick fixes now that can help you even if you have a lot of existing content. All right, next up I got Heather.
Hey, hi. I'm so happy to be here. So I'm in Portland. I'm an accountant. So it's tax season, but I wanted to take a nice little break. I've been podcasting for several years, but I stopped and I was like, I'm not going to do any more podcasting, but I do enjoy video. And my new passion project has now been upcycling clothes. And my first degree was actually in fashion. So I'm thinking about starting like an upcycling fashion channel on YouTube.
Ooh.
There's a lot of them, but mine would be more punk, grunge, goth-ish. And there's some that do that already. But so I'm kind of thinking about that. So when this came up, I was like, oh, now I have an excuse to not work and be with Julie. So thanks for having me.
Love it. I know when I saw you on the list, I was like, what? She's going to step away from taxes to join us? Yay. Okay, next up I have Stacy.
Oh, hi. My name is Stacy Earle, and I love the fact that Julie, I've been here a couple of times, but it's like once every few months. I don't have a podcast. I'm very curious about podcasts. I'm always interested in being a guest on a podcast, I think anyway. But what I do, I love the fact that Julie says it's a safe place for newbies. And that's how I always feel when I pop in here. I know I can pop in at any time, and I usually get very nice, warm welcomes. So, and I take lots of notes. My business is called How to Get Along. And the way I do that is I have been working using DISC assessments, which a lot of people know about. A lot of people say, aren't those for corporations? And yes, I've been doing it for corporations, for sales, for team building, for the Department of Labor, for 30 years. So for, yeah, a long time I've been doing this. But I've discovered I love doing it for couples, They can each take an assessment and we can let them know how their personality styles are going to either bump heads or they're going to get along really well. And we can bridge some gaps if they each know their personality strengths. Moms and teenagers. Oh my gosh, that one is hysterical. Teenagers love to have the computer tell them all their strengths. And mom gets kind of like this little instruction manual for the teenagers. So when he say kids don't come with instruction manuals, yes, they do. I have instruction manuals for you, for your teenagers and kids. So that's it. I'll put I don't have a podcast or YouTube channel and all that other fun stuff. So I'll put my website in the chat. But that's why I'm here, is for you guys to kind of guide me along and push me in the right directions. Eventually, I might do this.
I love that. Yes, we love to hear that. Thank you. So happy to have you. Okay, next up in my Zoom room is Andrea or Andrea. I don't remember now that I just said that. I hate that.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll answer to both. So I'm Andrea Stenberg. My podcast is the Courage to Be Visible podcast. I just launched in December, and I'm having guests on to talk about, like, so heart-centered entrepreneurs talk about why it's so hard for so many people to be visible, and what people have done to overcome that fear and that struggle so that they can grow their business. Because one of the reasons I started the podcast is I kept meeting all these entrepreneurs that are like hiding. It's like they're hiding their business, and people who have amazing businesses, amazing skills, their clients that they do have think they're amazing, but nobody knows where they are. So that's the purpose of the podcast. I also want to say I was at yesterday's meeting, and I had no intention of coming today because I have full on schedule today. But when I heard tomorrow I was going to be speaking today, because literally my to-do list for Saturday is take all my video recordings of my podcast so far and put them on YouTube. So I thought, ooh, I'm sure tomorrow's going to have something that I don't already know. So I'm really excited.
I always love to hear that too. And I had, I think, 4 or 5 people from yesterday sign up for today after hearing that yesterday. So lots of people coming, and lots of people I know will be watching the recording. Thank you so much for being here. Next up, we've got Coach Cindy. Oh, I can't hear you. Can you, everybody else hear? Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why. We'll come back to you. Maybe check your
Check your
settings.
microphone setting. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be set to your headphones instead of the mic. Sometimes that happens to me. Okay, Allison, next up, and then we'll go back to Cindy.
Hi, I'm Allison. I am a professional home organizational coach. I help people declutter their homes and lives for better, healthier living, higher productivity, and less stress. I help you focus on what your goals are, figuring out who you are now, setting boundaries so that you know who and what in your life is going to support you in those goals and who you are now, and helping you lean in onto your intuition so that you can learn how to make smarter, healthier, more confident decisions for yourself. I have been on podcasts before. I took a little break and I'm getting back into it. So I'm doing 2 this month or next month that I'm really excited about. One of them is talking about me doing it all while I have a chronic illness. So I'm excited to talk about that, because what I do in my practice is what has kept me sane and helped me get more done while really struggling with my energy levels. So, and then I do have a YouTube channel, so I will put that into the chat. But I'm excited to be here, and thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, and I love that too. As a fellow chronic illness person, I understand how important it is for us to know those strategies to help ourselves, especially when we're running our own businesses. Okay, Cindy, do you want to try again? See if we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there we go.
Okay, wonderful. So hi everybody. I was blessed enough to be invited here today, and it's my very first time. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my business, but I'll let you know right up front, I don't have a podcast. I am looking to find podcasts that would be a right fit for you and a right fit for me. So I'm happy to meet everybody. My business is called The Self-Love Leader, and I teach women to stop hiding so they can create the prosperity they deserve by finding their purpose. And typically, I work with women that are in the last half. Um, a lot of us women, who was it? Was it Heather, or was it who I wrote the name down here, but I don't know which one it is. Who was the one that said women really hide from their business? Oh, it was Andrea. Andrea said that. And the fact of the matter is women really hide from their purpose. And one thing that I just want to say really quickly about me is I was born with a rare birth defect. So I bring something very different and very unique to this particular topic. So nice to meet everybody.
Thank you so much, Cindy. So happy to have you here. And since you said that, I'm going to drop in the chat. One of the things I do every month in my paid membership is something I call Pitch Fest. And it's live on Zoom like this, but everybody gets 3 minutes to pitch themselves as a guest. And some hosts are in the room looking, some hosts are going to watch the recording, but then I take that recording and I clip it and I send you your clip. So you can post it on your social, on your YouTube channel. So, especially for new guests, it's a great way to kind of practice your pitch, hear what other people do, and then I'll also have a little piece of content to play with. So, I'll just drop that in the chat, as well as the link for you guys to sign up for these events for next month. Okay, a couple more before we dive into our topic. Danya, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Danya Fahmy, and I'm a natural health and lifestyle transformation facilitator and a sustainable wellness success mentor. And I know that's a mouthful, but what I do is I guide midlife women. I show them how to use natural solutions and resources to up-level their health so they can enjoy lasting wellness as they age. So whether it's stress or sleep or energy, I'm currently on a mission to help empower women to master the art of eating healthy because it's such a critical component of our health and well-being. I do not have a podcast. I do have a dormant YouTube channel that I really want to revive and bring back. And I'm also looking to be a guest on podcasts. I've been on a few, but it's not something that I've been putting a lot of time and energy into. So I've been collecting information and resources, and Julie's been a really great resource for that. So
Love it. Thank you. So happy that you're here again today. Okay, next up in my Zoom boxes, like the Brady Bunch boxes. I don't even know what we used to call that. The other Julie DeLuca Collins.
Yay, I got to make it. And I see some beautiful faces that I love. Hi, everybody. I'm Julie DeLuca Collins, and I am a business strategist. And I work with women to help them become visible, whether it be through podcasting or thought leadership, and really be able to position them so that they can be found, because sometimes we're the invisible experts. And my goal through the business coaching or the groups that I've run in the podcasting agency that I have is to help women get booked, and most importantly, make that consistent income from month to month so that they don't have to look at their bank account and freak out and be like, oh my God, I need to make some money and I don't have any clients. So that's me. And I have a podcast. It is called Casa de Confidence, the same thing as our production company. And I launched a new podcast that is a daily podcast because I wanted to teach my clients how it is possible to do something scrappy, do a podcast on your own. You don't need a production agency, and you can show up daily. And it is called Brave Moves Daily. And I am in day 105 of this experiment. And it is daily. Yeah, I don't know. I was crazy, but it's a 5 minute, when you wake up in the morning and you just need to hear something good, inspiration, kind of like boom, get you going. That's what the podcast is about. So thank you for having me.
Yay, I'm so glad you are here. And I love that. I know when I saw you do that, I'm like, what was she thinking? But that I do the same thing and add another one. I think sometimes we just feel a pull for a topic or something, and we got to test it out. So, 105 days, that's huge. Big, big clap for you. Okay, last up, we have Jessica.
Hello, my name is Jessica Hammock. I am a licensed trauma therapist and a trauma recovery and transformation coach. I'm in the Dallas area. I am an expert guest on all things related to trauma, relationships, money, identity. I work in a school system as the director of behavioral and mental health. So even those parent-child relationships, I'm working in the education system around all things related to mental health and spirit, soul, body connections and healing. I've been on Amy's podcast. It was an excellent experience, so make sure to hit her up. I'm reviving the podcast I have to bring in it's going to be called Beauty from Ashes, the Vibrant Voice Conversations. So it's a chance for guests to get on and tell about their experience and their healing journey and how they're living their vibrant life right now and moving forward after they've come through their healing experience. So I'm reformatting some of the pieces to apply to that and work on that. I have an unlisted YouTube channel. Meaning I created it and put a bunch of unlisted content on it for right now. So I'm really excited to hear more today because I definitely know that is a value in this time that we're in to have that content out there.
Yeah. And I will say that is the nice thing about YouTube too, because I have some unlisted stuff, but it's stuff that's recorded. So like the launch program I just finished, everybody who paid to be in it can still access it, but nobody else can. So I also love YouTube because it's multi-purpose, right? So I love hearing that too. Okay, before we dive into all things YouTube, let's take a photo while we're all on screen. And for those of you that are new, what I do every time is I take a photo and then I post it on all of the places on social and I tag everyone. I find that's the easiest way for us all to get connected because the chat gets full. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you. Took my computer a minute to catch up with me, apparently. And I did want to say something as I realized that, yeah, Julie, did you raise your hand?
No, I was liking something and sorry. I was raising my hand for the picture. No, just kidding.
Gotcha.
No,
sometimes when I use my hands, it does that to me too. But what I was going to mention when we were talking about community and spaces for women, I know a lot of us in this room right now are Polka Dots, which is a great organization if you are not a part of it. Also, several of us are I know Amy and Elaine are both in the Feminist Podcast Collective, which is a great community for podcasters that Becky Mellencamp runs. And then I know Julie and I are both in the Passionistas community, which is also another great community. And then there's also the New Englanders podcast community, which has a lot of great events. So I just wanted to mention those, especially for those of you that are newer. There are a lot of great support systems out there, and we all do it a little differently or different reasons, but there are great communities that you should definitely check out. And what I will do is I'll grab links to those and put it in the follow-up email. Alrighty, I am going to spotlight me and our speaker. And now I did that and then there you are. Okay, add to spotlight. And just so you guys know, we're going to do this interview style. I have some questions that I have ready to ask, but then once we're done, we're going to open it up for you guys all to have time to ask your questions. Feel free to start putting them in the chat if you want to. Okay, so let's start with this is the question I have for you with respect to how you help your clients. So, what do you see as the biggest issues or struggles that women in business have with wanting to use or not using well their YouTube space?
I would say that biggest challenge is wanting to show up for a lot of various reasons. Women don't want to show up on YouTube. They don't want to commit to video. They don't want to be seen in that way. And they don't understand that YouTube is a great place to actually be discovered. By not understanding what YouTube really is, they're really missing out on the ability to be discovered, which is the number one reason to be on YouTube, in my opinion.
Right. And I think what's important, because what I've realized, and even some of my recent research, and I knew this, but I think sometimes we think of YouTube as just another social media platform, but that is not what it is. It really is a discovery tool because it's a search engine. That's how it's built and all of that. So that makes sense for you to say that it really is about discoverability, and women aren't really tapping into that. So if you have had or were to have a client come to you and say, I do not have a YouTube channel, but I know I need to get on the bandwagon, I need to be on video in that format, what would be the top 3 things you would tell them whether you've just started or about to start a YouTube channel?
Yeah, optimization is everything. But with that being said, I think ground zero is understanding is that YouTube is very forgiving and you can go back and re-optimize at any given time, including changing the thumbnails, changing the title, the description, and things like that. And I would say to go into it with a strategy. If you don't want to pay someone to help you build it or to build it for you, at least get a strategy session and develop a strategy so you know what you are not only doing, but how it fits in your overall marketing strategy and how it connects and how it can generate leads for you. You know, how are you going to move those leads through your YouTube channel as well as through your buyer's journey. I would say those two things are the most important is to have that strategy and then optimize based on that strategy. And then the third is to be willing and be committed to being consistent. That, you know, with YouTube, the great thing about it is that one, you can, I had videos that I originally recorded live. I would do a webinar series every Thursday with two friends. We were in the same business, right? And so we went live every Thursday for like 6 months. And then we stopped going live because, you know, people were like, we're not seeing any results. Well, we really quit like 2 months too soon. We should have kept going. But the great thing is those recordings were on YouTube, and because they were originally recorded live on YouTube, they had some extra juice behind them. And they were sending me leads 5 and 6 years later. I had to actually turn them off because I was no longer working that business. And so it became more of a nuisance to have people reaching out to me for something that I'd have to refer them to someone
Right.
else. So I just decided to turn all those videos off. But that's the power of the discoverability engine of YouTube, is that it's really about being able to work smarter, not harder, and understanding the difference in intent but between a Facebook post or even LinkedIn and YouTube. It's those are three different intents. Could be the same person, but they're on each one with a different intent, and you have to understand those intents and make a strategy around those. YouTube is not only a search engine, it's owned by the world's largest search engine, which is Google. And when you understand that and strategize around that, you really create a whole new bucket that you can go to, a well that you can go to and, you know, create some predictability. So many people think of, I'll add this last,
Mm-hmm.
so many people, when they think about YouTube, they think about the YouTube monetization program, which is great if you are a creator. Raise your hand if you are here as a creator or if you are here as a business owner.
Business owner, I think, is probably more of what we're going to say.
Yeah, so if you are a business owner, the YouTube monetization program is really like your last focus. It's not your first focus, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to expect to make money or create income from YouTube. It's just going to look different. It's always been a self-monetized strategy. For me, I have a client, we began building her YouTube strategy and channel in August, and we worked together for about 4 weeks. We took some time off, and we just today completed our fourth week of a sprint, right? And so it was great the way that we started working, because first we built out the channel and the strategy. And so she followed the strategy for a good 60 days. And then we came back and moved to the next phase of building, which, you know, more than doubled her subscribers in just those 4 weeks. And she says that by the second week, she's like, someone just signed up for my class that I have no idea who they are. Well, we knew it was YouTube. We weren't quite sure how to attribute it to YouTube. And what we found was she'd shared the YouTube video through a distribution strategy into a Facebook group, and a stranger saw the video there, went to YouTube, watched it, and then joined her class. So again, it's that discoverability, but there's also, you can do both the push and the pull by having a distribution strategy.
I love that. And there's so many things. I'm just going to like pull out and highlight before we keep going is one that it's never too late to optimize your channel if it already exists. And you can go back and re-optimize and make better content that's already been up there for weeks or months or whatever it may be. And this is something I saw somewhere else. Like go back and do new thumbnails, do better SEO, titles, descriptions, all the things. But also that, I think for all of us in the space who are already, a lot of us are podcasters, YouTube has the same kind of method that it is a long game, just like with podcasts, even traditional ones. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We're not expecting overnight, monetization. But that's also why YouTube has been so smart in making YouTube podcast friendly and adding these ways that you can even take your audio only and put it onto YouTube. And my example of that is the brand new podcast I started 2 weeks ago that has one episode up, has more views on YouTube than it does have downloads on the traditional podcast apps. And I haven't been doing a lot. But that shows me right there that the content I'm creating, people are finding more there than the other place naturally without me doing a lot. So I just wanted to share that with people to know that, and that's one episode. That's just one episode. I'm already seeing a difference. So I want to go back to
Can
the
I
idea.
add on to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So what you just said is very magical because what a lot of people don't realize is you already have probably, if you've been creating content on other platforms, you have enough content generally to get your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube without creating any new content. And most people don't realize that, right? So you can take that content from platforms where now Facebook, you used to, your lives would be up for years. Now they're only up for 30 days, just like TikTok. So it's important to take those, even if you do like Jessica and you make them unlisted until you're ready to use them, get them on to YouTube. Now, if they're unlisted, they're not discoverable. But once they're discoverable, people can find you. And you are creating, without knowing it, there are people looking for you based on your existing content, and they cannot discover you. And YouTube is one of the best ways to be discovered through Google without having strong rankings for Google, because they own it. And because they own
Right.
it, they give it priority placement on the first page. So you might not be able to rank against, like when I was in beauty, Vogue or Glamour, but because you have a video, that video on YouTube can rank pretty high. Facebook Live videos used to, but now Facebook Lives only live for 30 days. So that's why it's ultra important to get them onto YouTube. And then there's, like, when you work with someone like me, there's so many different repurposing, resharing, and redistributing strategies that, like, you might not even have to create any new income. I know podcasts that are basically just old content that's been repurposed. And
I've had clients do that where they have years of online summit interviews they've done. These summits they've hosted and they've never done anything else with the content except for people who sign up for the summit when it happens. And she's like, I have all this content I could turn into podcast episodes, into YouTube videos. And that's content you already have. So a lot of us have that. I don't even know how many recordings of workshops I've done. And a lot of them now are on my channel. I'm adding more because it is that discoverability. And so let's walk back to, how do we become discoverable in the right ways? So there's two big things I like to ask people when it comes to YouTube. One is SEO, and that comes from titles, description, tags, etc. And the other is thumbnails. Right? And so they're two they go together, but they don't, in my experience. So let's talk about optimization, SEO.
So SEO is basically what you just said. It's going to be, if you can, the file name. If it's on desktop, it's going to be the title. It's going to be the description. The tags actually don't count as much as people think. It's more important for the words to be in the actual description than in the tags. It's playlists. It is playlist. And I would say that's really about it. It's very simple with the YouTube optimization. The other thing I would say is the transcript. And I usually don't tell people this in this type of format, but you need to be saying your keywords when you're speaking on the video. You need to be saying them throughout the video because these algorithms are very sophisticated and they're AI driven. Yes, Amy Stone, they're very AI driven. And so if you title it about cats and dogs, but in the video you're talking giraffes, tigers, and lions, it's not going to be a match. Pinterest is the same way. They're looking for that sense to be carried throughout. So, it's also helpful to have that yes on the thumbnail, but the thumbnail is more important for click through rate to get people you want the video to rank and be in those first few videos when people search. But then from there, one of the things going to drive them to click through and watch your video is the thumbnail. And so with
Right.
that thumbnail, you got to do some testing. You got to play around with it to figure out what actually,
What people,
yeah, makes them
yeah.
click through.
And I do think, I don't know, and I'm going to test this too with my new one, is my thumbnail was very simple. It was my photo big, a mic big, and the name of the podcast in big words. And I recently read something that said you should have only 4 to 6 words on a thumbnail at most. You
That's
shouldn't
true.
have 5 photos. You need one or two, like you or you and your guest. And I went and looked at some big podcasts like Call Her Daddy, Good Hang, and that is exactly what all their thumbnails are.
Yeah.
So sometimes go look at other podcasts that are successful and see what they're doing. And so is that what you would tell people about thumbnails as well?
That's exactly what I would tell people, and I would definitely send them like in the direction of Gary Vee. He is like the OG, the GOAT, and his thumbnails, him, Mr. Beast is another one, because he spends millions testing thumbnails, and we of course don't have those budgets, right?
Right.
So it successfully leaves clues, and so you want to brand it with your colors. You want to have your thumbnails. I like to, for a certain period of time, all my thumbnails have a certain look, and then I'll switch it, and then the next batch, or for the playlist, or for the series, they all have a similar look. And yes, 4 to 6 words. It should not be your title. That's the number one mistake people make is they title
Oh.
it. They put the title on the thumbnail, and that's not what should be on there. It should be a good hook to make people click through.
Ooh, that's a great tip. A hook and not the title, because titles are what I put on there. So I'm
Yeah, no.
And so I think what I also hear is we can go back and update it, and it doesn't even have to stay stagnant. We can update it at any time to get more views on old content, because if it's still relatable to what we're doing in our business, there's no reason not to. And I also love, and there may be some questions when we open it up, but the other thing I do love about YouTube are the playlists. And we can use them in a lot of ways beyond just a playlist of our podcast. We can make playlists. For example, I have a pet podcast. I can do a playlist about episodes we talk about cats, and episodes we talk about dogs, or episodes we talk about fostering. So we can do that so that we're organizing, but it's also sending people to the places when they get to our channel that they want to go to, right? So it's helping us organize, but it's also maybe amplifying the discoverability. Is that something you would say, or what would you tell people about playlists?
Yeah, I would say you definitely want playlists because playlists are another opportunity to rank because when you search for your keywords on YouTube, it's going to give you some videos and then it's going to give you some playlists. So if your video didn't get a chance to rank in the top 5, I believe it is, your playlist can rank, especially because most people don't have playlists with the keywords. So you can get your video, not just one video, but multiple videos in that playlist because they can choose to play all of the videos in the playlist. The one they can choose to continue playing it on autoplay. So playlists are a huge part of the strategy that is overlooked.
That's great. And one thing I do want to say for those of you here that are guests and don't have podcasts, one of the things I do is I have a playlist of all my podcast guest episodes. So anybody's podcast I'm on that has a YouTube version, I add it to that playlist. One, it helps me organize it and easily access those if I need to, but it's also boosting their chance. We're connecting, we're helping each other out with discoverability based on, connecting to each other, tagging each other, things like that. We're running out of time. I'm sure we could do a whole hour on this. One thing I want to ask, and then I'm going to open it up to everyone, is What is one or two things you would tell people how to figure out what are the best keywords for their titles and their descriptions? What is the best tool? Is it searching on YouTube itself or somewhere else?
Well, it's going to depend on if it's before the video is recorded and up and published
Mm.
or after the fact.
So
I
if it's content you already have, there's one way, and if it's content you're getting ready to create, it might be different.
Yeah, because it's two different strategies, and we don't have time to really go into both. But I do have a YouTube checklist that might help with that. But yeah, it's going to be different because the to answer for both, it's honestly the keyword that is used the most in the video.
So looking at what you use most in an existing
Yeah,
video
what
versus
ultimately what is that video about? And
Mm,
those keywords are what you optimize for.
gotcha.
So you make sure beforehand, before you record the video, before you go live, that you know what that is and that you are intentionally using
Using
those
those
keywords
words.
throughout. And if it's a video that's already published, ultimately, what is this video about? There's a lot that you can do with keyword research and keyword tools, but at the end of the day, it's what are they searching for? And but the thing is, for some of us, they might not be searching for it yet. I am the queen of being a market maker, right? I can make a keyword pop. I can take a keyword from not being even on the radar to now people are searching for it. And that's to me the heart of podcasting with your podcast, because you're creating the market, you're creating the audience. They're going to drive the search engine. They're going to be the ones entering the keywords, and you can dictate that by the way you create it and what they end up searching for. I'll give you a very, very quick example that's not even podcast related. When I was in beauty, one of the problems that I helped people solve when they would buy the little beauty sponge that's shaped like an egg and they get it and they didn't understand why theirs wasn't expanding. So I made a little short video explaining why it wasn't expanding and what to do so that it would expand. When I did all the keyword tools and research, nobody was searching for it. However, my website suddenly got flooded with to that blog post and that YouTube video because I embedded the video on the blog, and it got flooded because people were looking for it. It just hadn't been indexed by the search engines yet. So you can create the market by knowing who your ideal client is, your ideal listener, and solving something for them, and they will come looking for you. And you just want to be in position to be findable, to be discoverable.
Findable. I like that better. Well, I think we could definitely go down a rabbit hole of 10,000 other questions. So I want to open it up so everybody else has a chance. But you did mention you have a checklist. So you will give us that link if anybody wants to grab your checklist
Yeah, I'll
in
drop it
terms
in there
of
right now. It's
okay,
tamirahamilton.com/YouTube YT checklist. I just got to
perfect.
spell my name right.
And before I open it up for anyone to unmute and ask, I saw something come up in the chat. So Amy, you said, can I add something specific and annoyingly technical? YouTube about captions for podcasters and all-in-one platforms like Descript Riverside. Is something you want to say or ask? Go ahead.
No, I'll add it. So I learned a lot from what Tamira presented, and I don't want to present myself as an expert. She's got a bigger audience than I do. She's much better at keywords and things like that. But I have been on a YouTube all-in thing this whole year and specific to how it works and what helps boost it. And one of the things that I learned is that YouTube is pulling, like she said, from the title and the description. It doesn't actually read from the transcript of your show unless you upload an SRT file and code it that there is a transcript. If you use a platform like Riverside or one of those that Descript that hard bakes it in as part of the image, you are absolutely helping people who are hearing, using it to read across the screen. It's working, and that's a very, very good thing. But YouTube itself is not then, the machines can't actually see the video. They only read uploaded text files. And it's obnoxious and it's an extra step and it's a giant pain in my Tushamundo, but it has made a massive difference at where I show up on those YouTube videos. And so that is a weird little thing that if you don't understand it, but it's like how the machines actually get the data because they don't have eyes and ears. They don't hear us and they don't see us.
That's a
And I
great
do
point,
think
and
that's
I'm pretty sure that's on my checklist too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
because I'm old
surprised.
school, yeah. And yeah,
Right.
back in the day, like it was a big deal. Like you had to pay a lot of money to get the transcription, and you don't have to anymore, but you have to upload that
And
specific file.
that's how I learned is that I was like, hey, does it make a difference if I use this built-in thing on these platforms? Because I'm thinking about updating my systems. And they were unequivocal. They were like, it makes a massive difference. If you're worried about this, don't do it.
And I think it's a good point because a lot of us use tools and don't realize what's happening in the back end. I use Descript. I know it creates a transcript, but I wouldn't necessarily know if that's in it when I move it to the different places, right?
Right.
So I think those kind of technical things, you want to go to somebody like Tamira and be like, help me. What am I doing wrong or right? Because those are things that are very specific. But yeah, also something to be very aware of where you're uploading it from, your computer versus a software versus somewhere else. Okay, now I'm going to open it up. Questions? Anybody? Go ahead and raise. Yeah, Dunya, go ahead.
I just wanted to clarify what you were talking about earlier about you can go back and you can change things. Did you say you could change the title of the video or just the
Yes.
thumbnails and the keywords? You can
change the title of the video. You can change the thumbnail. You can even change the tags. What you cannot do is change the file name, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So once you've uploaded it from your desktop, your laptop, it's going to read that file name.
That file. Yeah.
Yeah, but so you can't go back and change that. When you don't get penalized for uploading from your phone.
Okay. I don't, but yeah.
But you can't always, depending on the phone and the model, you may not be able to change the file name before uploading it. So, but it optimally, if you can from a desktop or a laptop with the file name with the keywords in there.
Oh, in the
And that
file
was,
recommended.
yeah,
In the
that's
file
something I
name,
just
yes.
learned, Danya. So
Is there like a character limit on that, like, or for the file name?
There
I don't
is, I
know.
don't know it offhand, but you will know it when you enter it. It will definitely let you know if
It'll
It will tell you. Yeah.
It's pretty long. It's pretty
It'll
long.
let you do pretty long. Okay.
Yeah,
got it.
yeah. I'm trying to keep things
Simple.
simple for you because
Simple.
there's some
Yeah.
fun thing. There's some things you can do with the actual title.
Okay.
To hit for more than one keyword. So
And
I'm just saying that because that's how long of a space you have.
yeah, what's your take on TubeBuddy? Because I've had that for a long time. I don't use it a lot because my channel's kind of dormant. It's not active, but I've used it for keyword searching and stuff and found it.
Yeah, I think TubeBuddy is great. I like Keywords Anywhere. I like Vidic. Any of those work. They're all good.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Okay. Cindy, you have a question? And then
Hi,
Andrea.
this is really great information. Thank you so very much.
You're very welcome.
I have two really quick questions. My first question is I have a TikTok channel and I use Repurpose.io and I put all my TikToks as shorts over on YouTube. Good, and you can just answer it really quickly. Good idea, bad idea?
Personally, no, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I'm a
Okay.
little too much more of a control freak, and I really like to get the SEO right. In my experience, it's since 2012, 2013, these platforms don't like that automatic stuff being repurposed and sent from other platforms. It may work for the short term, but it does not work in the long term. And again, does it know your strategy? One of the things I help my clients with is they often work with this person for this person for that, and that person for that. And that person is very knowledgeable on their end. That person is very knowledgeable on their end. But where's the string bringing it all back together to make sure it is pointed at your ideal client and that the strategy, the mission, and the vision are all in alignment throughout the entire process. And so when you take humans out of it and you're just relying on repurpose IO, I kind of flinch.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's all I needed to know on that. My other question is, I have an old YouTube channel. I call it old. It's maybe like 10 years old. It's old enough that my hair was brown at the time and it's no longer brown. But a lot of the stuff I talked about really relates to what I'm putting on my YouTube channel today. Is there a way to combine a channel or to do you have to literally download those videos and re-upload them to your new
Download
YouTube
them and
channel?
re-upload them. But before doing that, I would, in all sincerity, I would run them through ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity to find out what needs to be updated and just re-record it and update it.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect.
Oh.
Thanks very much. I appreciate you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
That's great advice. And yeah, I do think that it's always better to upload onto platforms separately because I know even people who cross post between Instagram and TikTok, a lot of times there's stuff on there that could get flagged, like even the music that you've used from a certain platform. So I always say it's safer to do that than to cross. Okay, Andrea, go ahead.
Just quick, because I'm playing catch up on my podcast and uploading them to YouTube, can I assume that it would be better like to not just upload them all on Saturday, that I should spread it out a little bit,
Yeah, try
the
to
back
spread it out.
episodes?
You can do more than one in a day. They really don't like, after like the fifth or sixth video, depending, even for shorts, because they start to wonder if it's spam or a bot. So even
Okay.
if you do it in the same day, try to spread them out a little bit, but yeah, you can do more than one in a day. I have a client who has, for over 200 days, almost every day for the past year, has done like some morning words of inspiration over on TikTok, and we got started uploading those as shorts. And what that's what we found, and I already knew that from my own experience and with other clients, that if you do too many all at once, it kind of stops showing you, but
Hmm.
it takes a few videos before it does that.
Now, do I need to like upload them each day, or could I upload them and have them unlisted all on one day and then gradually like
Yeah, you could do that. You
publish
can even
them?
set them as premieres. You can schedule them. You don't have to go in and manually take them from
Okay.
unlisted. You can have it scheduled. Yeah, you can
Okay,
schedule.
so that won't harm me if like Saturday I just go and work plow on through and get them
No, not at
all up.
all.
Okay,
That's what
thank you.
most of your major YouTubers do.
And that's what I love about YouTube is like I can send stuff over there and just have it as unlisted until I'm ready to go in and fix it and schedule it or
Yeah.
post it. It is nice to be able to send stuff, but that doesn't mean it has to be perfect and ready to go up. But it's also nice you can schedule. Just
Right.
like in our podcast host apps, we can schedule when the episodes go out, even if we've just uploaded like 10 of them. But that is a question I wanted to ask. I'm going to drop in the chat because I know people will have to go very soon. If you have any ideas of topics you want covered here, someone who might be a good speaker, I'm going to put my links in. Please reach out, let me know. Next month in February, we're going to be talking interview techniques, both as a host and a guest. That is a subject has been requested, so we're going to be doing that in one of them. And then I have a potential speaker coming to talk specifically about Pinterest for podcasters. And so there's also been a request for data, where to find it, how to understand it, both as a host and a guest. So if you have any other ideas, please let me know. One thing I did want to ask you, though, while we're still here, is I have heard that, like, if you're going to be posting regularly, which is either every day or once a week, like we do sometimes with podcasts, should it be the same day and time every week? Does YouTube like that? Does it matter?
It's not so much for YouTube as it is for your subscribers. It's a good idea, and a lot of people put it in their YouTube cover photo,
Mm-hmm.
the date and time of their weekly drop, or they'll say like new videos on Wednesdays and Fridays, and you can look at your analytics and figure out which one. So it creates that predictability, and people know when to expect new videos from you. But one of the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things about YouTube is it actually emails your subscribers when you drop a new video. They get notified. So it's kind of like, another touch point for you that's effortless, and you don't have to do anything other than upload new content.
Which is the whole push of wanting subscribers, because unlike social media, when you have followers, they don't all get notified when you put a new post out, right? It's just luck of the draw. But YouTube, they're getting told email notifications. Sometimes I have to turn it off because I'm getting so many notifications from YouTubes that I've subscribed to. But it is such a bonus, just like with LinkedIn and like the newsletter feature. People get notified every time you add to it. You're not having to worry about posting it. And
Right.
and is it the notifications the same for shorts as full longer videos?
No, but the app will send out a notification, the
Okay.
little red notification and the bell, but it's also another reason to be conscientious of how many videos you're uploading at once
Mm.
because you don't want people getting inundated. I don't know that it will say if you do like 5 in a row that it will send 5 emails, but it may send 2 or 3. So, it's just something else to
Gotcha.
be aware of.
Yeah. Well, I know some people have to go. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you,
Thank you,
Tamira, for all of
Tamara.
these nuggets. Like, oh my gosh.
Woo!
I think we're
Yeah,
all
this
going to
was
be working
great,
on our
especially to
YouTube
not know the
channels.
questions ahead of time.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Loved it, loved it. And I will,
Thank
everybody,
you.
again, you'll get an email with the recording. I'll also put any links that we shared, her checklist, all of that in the email as well. If you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to us. And we have a few minutes. If anybody left has a quick question they want to ask or anything like that, go right ahead.
I have a question about the subscriber because I subscribe to a lot of different people on YouTube. I don't get emails from them, thankfully. I do get the notifications in the app. Like, so if I open the YouTube app, it'll show me you have 8, 9, whatever. Some of them will just be people's comments or responding to my comments. Some of them will be like actual new videos or whatever. Is that a setting preference? I mean, how would you communicate that with your subscribers? Like when they first subscribe, is there a way to communicate to them that they can
Well,
do that if
typically
they
on a
want?
YouTube video, you say that, click that bell and or it's on screen multiple times throughout the video. So you could include it in your podcast flow because people know that YouTube has the podcast feature now. So you could
Mm-hmm.
just make it part of your flow and your format of the way you format your podcast too.
But
If
what I'm
you're
saying is that when you subscribe, it didn't automatically do that. Is that because
No,
one?
Well,
you have
some
to
of it
click
is
the
your
bell.
settings.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Some
you
of it
have to
we
click the
can't
bell.
control because, like, I turn my settings off on the app on my
yeah,
phone.
yeah.
And so it doesn't matter what people tell me to do. I'm not going to get
Gotcha,
any. So some
gotcha.
of
Yeah,
it is that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I guess what I'm trying to do is avoid, but having people get emails if they don't want that. Like maybe they don't, like me, prefer
Yeah,
to.
it's totally subscriber driven. They have to click the bell, and then even there's like 2 or 3 options when they click the bell about how
Oh,
often
okay, all right,
they
okay.
want to be notified.
And they can
Yep.
decide there whether
Yeah.
they
The
want
idea
that.
is this is your what Shalene Johnson would call your lifer, the one who's hanging on your every word and can't wait for your next video.
Right.
That's YouTube is actually great for building community because of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
That these are the people who want more
Yep.
content from you. They're anxiously looking for and waiting for your next video.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Right.
Stacy, did you have a question you wanted to ask or comment?
Oh no, I'm just absorbing everything.
Letting
Thank you
it
though.
sink in, right?
All right. Well,
Definitely.
I gotta jump off, but thank you so
Me
much.
too.
That was
You're
really,
welcome.
really
Yes.
Thank
Thank
good
you
you
guys for
option
all.
being
That was
here.
great.
list. And see you sometime soon, Julie.